footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. That's Emery Hunt-Azarda playbook, and I'm Tyler Merkovich, and we're bringing you an off-season outlook for the Cincinnati Bengals. 10-6, a playoff appearance. They got the 21st pick overall, and you know what they were built on. Early in the year, their O-line was playing great. They were running the ball spectacularly, but key loss to T.J. Houshmandzadeh during the offseason, and the tragic loss of Chris Henry really disabled that wide receiver core because Lavernius Coles looks like he was aging. Andre Caldwell didn't step up to the challenge. Quan Cosby a little too young. Ojo Cinco could not carry them. He's more of a deep threat. Rumors are that they may bring in Terrell Owens as a possession receiver, which would be clutch. But that defense, Roy Williams is a free agent. Tank Johnson, defensive lineman, is a free agent. Genty, the linebacker, is a free agent. So what do you think is the number one need for the Bengals?
Tight end. I think that's the number one need for the Bengals.
Oh,
tight
that
end.
was a mess, too. They had drop balls by Coates.
Right.
J.P. Foshee was the number one guy who filled in, but he'd be rather better as a number two.
Right. Kaufman, I like Kaufman. You know, Kaufman's a guy out of Missouri, but he was injured. But I do think with Gresham, if Gresham is sitting there, you have to take him with you, Cincinnati. That's going to help stretch the middle, especially if you don't get Terrell Owens. Now you have Ocho Cinco. You also have a tight end. If you bring Coles back, now you have that wide receiver. So you need somebody to control the middle, which also leads to my second need. I think they need a wide receiver. You saw what the loss of Chris Henry did to that passing attack. They were able to effectively get doubled on the wide receivers and force Quan Cosby or Caldwell to make big plays, and they couldn't make those plays. So tight end, wide receiver, and they also need a free safety, a ball hawking free safety that eliminates mistakes. They have two good corners. They need that free safety.
Right, because and Dukeway did a good job, but they don't have too much depth there. They could use a safety, maybe even a D lineman, especially if they lose Tank Johnson. I mean, and the injury to Antoine Odom, who was great, so depth up there would be a lot better because in the beginning of the year they were a lot better than they were at the end of the year. So keep building on that defense, which wouldn't be a bad idea also.
Right, because you look at you drafted Michael Johnson last year. But, you know, he's spot duty. But you really need somebody to give you pressure on the front end, you know, the right side of that offensive line. So they need another DN to effectively apply pressure because, you know, Odom's going to come back. But how healthy will he be after his first year after that knee injury? So they do need another defensive end. I think they have to address that as well in the draft.
Absolutely. And, you know, they got the running backs. They were high on Bernard Scott, one of their rookies last year. Benson had a breakout year. They picked up Larry Johnson. Carson Palmer is a good quarterback. So
offensive line depth is always key. You always want to draft depth in that offensive line. As you see teams, O-linemen get hurt, they get tired, you need depth.
Yeah, well, they drafted Andre Smith last year, first round.
And he's hurt right now.
He didn't come on. He was injured, so he's going to come on. He's going to have, I mean, the future's looking up for him because he's not going to, you know, him in the NFL, working, getting healthy. He's going to improve. He's got a lot of upside and potential. And the other O-linemen, I mean, unless it was a one-year wonder or something, they played great. The kid out of LSU,
Whitworth.
One of the other tackles, Whitworth, he had a breakout year. And, I mean, maybe they could have depth because of injury, or if it's a one-year wonder thing, bring in more guys because, you know, that's got to be their staple right there, is running the ball with which Pittsburgh has done in the past, Cleveland likes to do, and of course Baltimore.
Well, your center always has to be important in that division because you look at teams that run 3-4, Cleveland, you look at Baltimore, you know, Pittsburgh. So their center, the O-line depth is key because you're going to get pressure, constant pressure up front.
Some need to address. Every team needs to address, even if you're 12-4 or 4-12. Depth is always key in the NFL. It comes and goes. It's year after year, a lot of turnover, so we will see. For more off-season team outlooks, visit youtube.com/footballgameplan.